There's an attempt being made here to turn the Crimean capital, Simferopol, into a sort of Kiev, but in reverse. The Parliament building now in the hands of dozens of apparently heavily armed men, protecting it from what they see as profoundly undemocratic forces. Their supporters not so many, but very eager to tell you that they would like nothing more than Russian tanks on the streets to protect them.
That's okay, yes, because American army was supported in different countries. Today we support Russian army because every one of us has relatives in Russia.
The police line, staffed by just a handful of uncertain-looking men, didn't look very impressive. This small group proved just how unimpressive it was. The point being that they wanted to tell the armed group in charge of Parliament that they were with them and that they were in control.
So it's pretty obvious exactly who's in charge here. The police line, such as it was, simply melted away as these people obviously said they wanted to hold their protests right in front of the building, which is under control of this apparently armed militia. At the moment here, there's nobody to stop them doing more or less what they feel like.
There's now a daily protest as well outside the administrative building in the port of Sevastopol. Today's surprise guest, Sergei Mironov, hardline Russian nationalist and member of the Russian parliament. In he went for talks with the Russian mayor in this supposedly Ukrainian city. This woman could barely disguise her fury at the takeover of her country. Those people from the West, we educated them, she said. They could barely read before we taught them. These people genuinely think that they're now being governed by a bunch of fascist sympathising peasants. The Berkut special forces, supposedly disbanded after the shootings of protesters in Kiev, walk around here with faces on display. And behind all this is the sure knowledge that whatever aspirations the new government in Kiev might have, the Russians were in Crimea a long time ago.
It's becoming pretty obvious now that Ukraine's in the middle of a diplomatic proxy war between the West and Russia, and as of right now you have a government in Kiev which harbours aspirations for this country one day perhaps to join the European Union. But if that happened, it would be a European Union country with a Russian fleet on its southern edge.
And so did this local pro-Russian politician think the naval forces would ever leave them? It's impossible, he said, and he's almost certainly right. So is Crimea on the brink of war or the brink of separation? It's hard to know, but here the Russian bloc aren't listening to a word their new leaders in Kiev have to say. Laurence, Al Jazeera, Crimea.